Hey BookTube, it's Tara, and this is Friday Reads for August 7th, 2020. I'm going to go over the books that I finished this week and the ones that I'm currently reading, as well as some books that I hope to pick up this weekend. So first off, I finished Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, and this book follows a young girl. It's a coming-of-age story about a young girl named Lauren Olamina. She lives with her father and her stepmother and her three stepbrothers in this dystopian society. The year is 2025. The current environment, due to certain social disorders, diseases, outbreaks, shortages of clean water, it's caused most of the communities in Central California to kind of barricade themselves and build walls around their communities for protection from outside gangs, thieves, etc. Lauren ends up having this secret that we find out she suffers from hyperempathy, which is a condition where she feels whatever it is she sees. So if she witnesses someone being hurt, she feels their pain. And it gets as deep as if she sees someone bleeding, she can even start bleeding herself. So this is a weakness that she has as she goes through her journey in escaping the community that's been taken over by thieves and gang members. Throughout the book and throughout her journey, Lauren ends up developing her own religion called Earthseed because she never quite believed in the ways of Christianity, which is what her father preached as he was a Baptist minister. The religion that she creates, Earthseed, basically touts that all you touch, you change. All you change changes you. And the only lasting truth is change. So we're basically taking a journey where she's coming out of a society where nothing is safe, nothing can be trusted, and she begins to build relationships with people on her journey who will eventually become the first congregation of Earthseed. This book, I will say, was very weird. The pacing was wonderful. I kept reading ahead because I wanted to know, okay, what is the point? What am I getting at? What are we eventually getting at with this book, which I never really truly found out. So because I continued to ask myself, what is the point of this story? I guess I truly never understood it or truly never got it. This was my first introduction to Octavia E. Butler's work. Her world building is excellent. The pacing was great. However, the point, I don't know. I still don't know. So I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars just because maybe the concept went over my head. Some topics that this book includes are coming of age, being Black in America, feminism, theology, dystopian times, and maybe even some utopian times if you want to delve deeper into things that have occurred but good has come out of them. So 3 out of 5 stars for me. I also finished a short novella called The First Part Last, Heaven Number 2. This book is written by Angela Johnson. It was very short. It follows a young man who is 16 years old and he becomes a father for the first time. I found this story to be interesting as I've never read from the perspective of a young man who goes into fatherhood as a child himself. This story is told in 2 different timelines: before child and currently with child. I did appreciate the narrative of this young 16-year-old boy striving to do right by his child and what that feels and looks like for someone his age. The ending of this short book I did not expect, nor did I see coming. This book is told mainly in his perspective. I was a bit puzzled as to why we're not receiving the mother's perspective because she was also a very young woman that was having the baby. I guess I wanted that balance, male and female, both. The incident that happened before the close of the book definitely surprised me. it brought realization to why the book was mainly written in his perspective. So I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. I just finished today a book called Solo by Kwame Alexander, and this book was recommended to me by Sarah at Sarah's Reading Nook. I listened to this on Libby, and it is suggested that you do listen to it because it does have songs, original scores, musical elements in it that definitely add to the story. So we follow a young boy by the name of Blade. I think he's 15, 16 years old, and he is the son of a rock star who has a drug problem and suffers from alcoholism as well. Blade lost his mother at a younger age and was thus raised or continued to be raised by his drunk, drug addicted father. So Blade's only outlets in life were his music and his girlfriend Chapel. And what I did not see coming in this story is when Blade finds out the truth about who he really is. This audiobook was only, I think, 4.5 hours. It was pretty short. The musical elements add another level to this story, as Blade tends to express his feelings a lot through the music. It was a beautifully told story. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a bit young-minded, but we are dealing with a young boy going through life, going through changes, trying to find out who he is in this world. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the musical elements. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Listen to it, don't read it. And thank you, Sarah, for recommending it. So on to what I'm currently reading still. I have just a little bit left to go of The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This is a murder mystery based in Ireland on the secluded island. There's a wedding and someone ends up dying. I am on page 279. I'm right at the tail end and it's really picking up now. The first part of this book and even the middle part of this book, we're getting a lot of what's happening, what's going on, the relationships, the past relationships. It was just creeping along in a way that I kept saying to myself, pick up and get to the point. Give me something to go off of. Give me something to look forward to, because at this point I want to put down the book. But it really gets good at the end as we're really trying to figure out and piece all the pieces together of this puzzle of what happened, who died, and who killed them. So maybe by next week, of course by next week, by this weekend, I'll know the true end of this book. Next, I am on page 106 of a book called Lovely War by Julie Berry, and I am buddy reading this book with Zoo's Reading Corner, and I will put her channel in the description box. I'll try to link it in the cards as well. She has a very cute channel. I've been watching her for a while, and she agreed to read this book with me. She's not really feeling it right now. We're trying to pace ourselves so we finish it by the end of the month. But this book follows the story of Greek gods Aphrodite, the goddess of love. She is married to Hephaestus, the god of, I want to say fire. And she's having an affair with Hephaestus's brother Ares, the god of war. And so Heph, which is what Zoo likes to call him, decides to take them to court because obviously his wife is cheating on him. So he's going to be judge, jury, and executioner and figure out the question of why you can't have love without war or war without love. I think that's the premise of this story. But it is historical fiction. So far, so good. It's keeping my interest. Again, Greek gods telling their stories about love and about war, and we'll see how it goes. Now, what I may pick up this weekend, because I just received it in the mail today, is The Death of Vivek OG. I got this in my Book of the Month club, and this is a short book, so I would imagine I can read it pretty quickly. But it starts off with a mother opening her door only to find her son laying on the porch dead. And so we go into this mystery as to how this happened, what happened. I understand this is a sad story, but it's beautifully written. And so that's what intrigued me about it. So hopefully I'll pick this up this weekend. And on to more sadness. The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes. This was my second pick for Book of the Month that I got today. And this story follows Cassidy, who's a member of a pop singing group that's supposed to be hot as Britney Spears, hotter than Christina Aguilera type deal. And Cassidy ends up committing suicide. So we follow 3 or 4 different perspectives of the other girls that were in the group, and their struggle with figuring out if they could have done something differently, if they could have stopped this tragedy from happening. So that was an intriguing premise for me to pick this up, to figure out why did she kill herself, what happened. So hopefully it'll be a good read. I don't know if I'll get to it this weekend though, but just wanted to shout that one out. So that's my Friday reads. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you have. If not, and you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing, give a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.